Hi, this is Jack again. Okay, here to talk about the Sumerians. The Sumerians were an actual race interdimensionally. The Sumerians worked closely with the Draconians as well. So the Sumerians and the Draconians were also part of a manifestation of a human form, exactly as what the Anunnaki and the Sumerians and the serpents were busy with. Though, in terms of the Draconians and the Sumerians, their planet's atmosphere within their interdimensional existence were okay with, manifesting human forms, but not completely human, but human-like forms, which were called the Sumerians. When the Draconians and the Sumerians completed their manifestation, because they also played much with creation, they were very, very, very intelligent beings, magnificent. And then when they were complete, they also heard about Earth. They also heard about the manifestation of this planet. And they went, what about if they'd actually create a civilization with their creation, which was called the Sumerians, though the Draconians were much involved. So they came to Earth and they manifested their creation as beings. Not completely human, though human-like. I'd say Anu, the Anunnakis' manifested form were more like a human form. Now this time Anu wasn't aware of it. Anu wasn't aware of them manifesting their entire civilization, which was more ahead than where Anu was. Anu was still busy programming his creation of human beings, and here the Sumerians and the Draconians were basically done. All they had to do was create a home or a civilization of their creation. And so the Sumerians started working with their manifested form creation, which human beings now call the Sumerians, which actually were here on Earth. And the interdimensional Sumerians asked their human-like form creations as Sumerians to record their own history of creation. To record the history of the planets, the Earth, everything, all knowledge and information. So, here's an interesting thing. Most human beings, not all, hear me, most, here on Earth are of Sumerian origin, are of Atlantean origin, and then, of course, the rest of the interdimensional existence origin. So, I know it's an interesting thing, is that humans now are trying to rediscover the past in terms of the Sumerians and the Lemurians and the Atlanteans, etc. But that is the primary way the Anunnaki and Anu programmed this entire existence. Because in the beginning, you had all the knowledge and wisdom and information of all of existence, literally everything. The planets, the solar system, the movement, the origins of you, the origins of all the other interdimensional beings, the history, the forefathers of all the other, you had everything. But then they went, how is there one way to enslave these beings? Have all their information in the beginning, then make them dumb, stretch out the rediscovery of themselves in space and time to think, oh my God, what we're actually discovering now is for the first time, and then you're trying to figure it out when actually you were actually participating in that which you're rediscovering. You were actually part of that. But you won't know because you won't remember any of your past lives. Because what happens when you die? All the information is placed into your soul construct. Your mind is completely wiped through the suppression manifestation in the center of your mind, which existed both here on Earth and in the dimensions. You cross over. You don't remember who you are, where you come from, what you did, why you did it, and you just recycled again through reincarnation. So actually human beings that are existing today, everyone that's on this Earth or in the dimensions, have always been in this cycle from the beginning. Thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of years ago. Because all interdimensional beings have been placed here. So that's quite ironic. that human beings now only start discovering what is this existence about. And by the way, it's just the tip of the iceberg. And as you're rediscovering everything again today, but actually you knew you were actually there participating in the beginning where you knew everything. So, interesting. And so mostly the foundation of enslavement was set for human beings, make them dumb, submissive, suppress what they actually know through mind consciousness systems, and have them live their lives, discovering stuff for the first time. Through how many years? Hundreds, thousands. Start developing, you start evolving. So what did Anu actually do? He reversed everything. Reverse everything from all knowing to knowing nothing, and then you take your way back to the knowing of everything and all. So in terms of, if you look at existence, what you know now is really just this so far. And how long have human beings been here on Earth? Thousands and hundreds and thousands of years. And you still haven't really got to what's actually going on. You don't know everything at all. And that answer is within the beginning, which is with the Sumerians and the Lemurians and the Atlanteans and all the interdimensional beings, the Sumerians, the serpents, the Draconians, the Andromedans, everyone. And so, the Sumerian manifestation of the human life form were actually of interdimensional Sumerian beings, and the Draconians were more involved there. The Andromedans I'll explain later. But the Draconians were beautiful beings. They were really fascinating creatures. Interesting. So in terms of how that whole conflict occurred, then when Anu actually found out that the Sumerians were also here on Earth with the Draconians, well, that's another story. Well, it's not another story, but it's another many long stretches of interviews. So I'm long not finished with the history of man. There is so much. And thus the interdimensional Sumerians' creation, that was man-like form here on Earth, had their own civilization and everything for quite some time before Anu and them actually manifested their creation. Now this is interesting. So I understand in terms of the time frames it's like a little bit confusing, but everything will start getting together. Remember, I'm just pulling everything out from everyone's perspective. So I had Anu explained. From there I'll start more about the Sumerians and the Draconians and how they manifested their creation and when. And yeah, so Anu wasn't actually the end all of everything, of all of creation. And this you'll understand later as well. Thank you very much. This is Jack.